Hey everybody, welcome to the DW Plays video. This time we are taking a look at Super Ghouls and Ghosts, the SNES follow-up to the NES Ghosts and Goblins. As you can see, it looks considerably better than the previous one. As far as gameplay goes, there is more to it. For example, there are more weapon types, and the existing ones got overhauled slightly. For example, the flame weapon is much better in this than it was in the original game. That said, the game has a really nasty habit of screwing you over constantly. And by that I mean it will constantly spawn enemies basically right where you're jumping, and since the jumping is basically locked in once you press the button, you cannot avoid the enemy that spawns in that way. Which is really annoying. Means you basically have to memorize exactly where every enemy spawns. Except you can't do that. Because some of the enemy spawns are slightly randomized. So, only so much you can do with that. So I'm just going to be... yeah, and that kind of thing happens too, where enemies will just jump right where you're jumping, and then the path of the projectile gets right where you're jumping too, and... yeah, this game is... yeah, it's basically as difficult as Ghosts and Goblins, but for slightly different reasons. Namely the fact that because the graphics are better, you can actually see the projectiles this time around, as opposed to the NES game where you could not, which was really annoying. The jumping is probably the most irritating thing, where it locks you into the jump. Let me go ahead and get this flame weapon so you can see kind of the difference there. I mean, when you just throw it and it directly hits an enemy, then it just does the same thing it normally would. Oh, we have a sickle now, which is kind of neat. So we'll see what that does. Just tossing sickles. I mean, it does have that catchy tune that was in the previous game as well. So if you liked that song, then congratulations. You're going to be getting a lot of it in this, and like I said, enemies will spawn directly where you're jumping. Because reasons. You cannot alter your trajectory mid-jump. You can only alter it when you press that jump button again. Can't really say I'm too much of a fan of the sickle here, but it's kind of cool for variety at least. I'd really appreciate it if the enemies would stop spawning so I can actually get through this area. That'd be great. Just saying. At any rate, I probably won't play this one for any longer than it takes for me to lose all of my lives, which is going to be pretty soon. Let's be fair here. Because this game is bullshit difficult. Also, the frame rate likes to die on me, which is always fun. That's very annoying. So, there's more traps to navigate through. There's more things in the environment. I'm just trying to wait for enemies to stop spawning long enough for me to move past them. There's another enemy spawning right on top of me. Because, welcome to Ghouls and Ghosts and Goblins. They tend to do that to you. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to play this anymore. Like I said in my Ghosts and Goblins video, I really don't like this style of game. The bullshit difficult platformers from the arcade era, I just do not enjoy them at all. And a lot of that is because I just don't find difficulty necessarily all that fun. There's a difference between challenge and something just being bullshit difficult, and that's what these kinds of games are. They're bullshit difficult. A challenge makes you feel like it's a matter of skill. It makes you feel like you could improve over time. And in this, it's really just a matter of memorization and luck. And that's not a good feeling when you overcome that. It just means that you got lucky, more or less. So something like this just is not remotely fun to me at all. And I really can't recommend playing it either. If you were going to play a Ghosts and Goblins or Super Ghouls and Ghosts or whatever, this would be the one to play. At least from my experience, I haven't played any of the other ones, just Ghosts and Goblins and Super Ghouls and Ghosts. So I don't know if any of the more recent ones are better than this or not. I know they're still bullshit difficult. But if you absolutely have to play a game in this series, I would go with this one over Ghosts and Goblins. If only because it's definitely a more advanced game than Ghosts and Goblins was. Also, you can actually see the projectiles in this compared to the original game, so that's also a thing. But yeah, I get basically nothing out of this kind of game. It was kind of funny seeing the responses to my Ghosts and Goblins video, because there were some people in there being kind of pissy at me for making the video. Like, why would you make a video about a game you don't like? And I just sat there, I'm like, you do realize that's mostly what I make at this point, because most games out there seem like they're going out of their way to annoy me. Like that Battlefield 2042 open beta that I've messed with. That thing was a mess. At any rate, suffice to say, I have no nostalgia for the Ghosts and Goblins or Ghouls and Ghosts series. I'd never played any of them until I got my NES and SNES classics. And something like this does basically nothing for me. Your mileage may vary, of course. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one.